Hello, this is Dustin with Home Mender, and today we are going to be updating this hideous 1980s kitchen. Not as hard as you'd think. I'm going to do it by myself. Let's get to it. So the first thing we want to do is disconnect the sink, the dishwasher, and the stove. I've got the breakers off. We're going to also pull the hood. So I cut the breaker off at the main, that way I don't have to guess which one's which. Go ahead and valve off the dishwasher and the sink, and we'll get those disconnected. Alright, we got the disposal disconnected, the water valve off, and the sink disconnected. We also disconnected the dishwasher. Let's make sure we get this unhooked. We're getting a new dishwasher, so we don't have to be very careful with it. Disconnect the water line. Screws on the bottom. That dishwasher's ready to come out. We can get this disconnected. Loosen the ground. Now we're ready to start pulling down the cabinets. I've got some top trim up here that I'm going to pull off. Also have some trim on the side. Now we're going to start taking screws out. Be aware, sometimes cabinets, if they're installed properly, are screwed in from the cabinet to the next cabinet. Alright, looking good. This one's still giving me trouble. Now if you look, you might be able to see I've got Phillips head screws up in the top and one in the bottom. So we're going to pull off the top first, so the bottom screw is still holding. Then we'll pull the bottom screw out and let the cabinet down. Had to bring that one down in thirds. Now that our upper cabinets are gone, we can get rid of these lowers. Start by pulling off the countertop. I got a side splash over here. I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to cut the backsplash at the wall so we don't damage the wall tearing it out. Alright, go ahead and pull your backsplash. We've got the side splash butted to the wall and then the countertop butted to it. Typically the countertop runs the full length and the side splash sits on top. We're going to go ahead and pull this out in one piece. Now let's check to see if our countertop is screwed to our lower cabinets. Looks like it's just glued. We're going to have to tear it out. Got some shoe molding at the bottom here. I'm going to pick that up. Oh, it looks like the whole kick plate's coming off. Now, depending on how old the kitchen is you're replacing, these may be screwed into the wall, they may be nailed. It looks like I have both. It looks like this one is hand built. Sometimes you got to tear them out to get them out. And you can see why these need to be replaced. Alright, all the cabinetry is down. Took us about 20 minutes. Let's get this cleaned up and we'll be ready for the install. Now our cabinets are ready to go in. But first we're going to mark all of our studs. I like to mark them on the ceiling too, just so I know where to put my stuff. Now we're just duplicating the layout that we had, so we measured all of our cabinets and we're buying the exact same thing. The only difference is they had a 27-inch wide cooktop slide-in stove. They're going to put in a standard 30 freestanding, so we have to make up that 3 inches. So on the lower cabinet, instead of doing an 18, I did a 15. So we're going to start in this corner because this cabinet was butted to the wall. I checked the level of my ceiling. It's perfect, so we're going to go ahead and hang our cabinets to the ceiling. So we have a screw ready. That's one. Check for level. We're looking good. Beautiful. You can see they only had an 18-inch tall cabinet. The previous ones were 21, but I needed to get my hood exhaust to work, so I had to build it down with a 3-inch filler. Now we're going to do probably the most important thing about installing kitchen cabinets. We're going to screw the two cabinets together through this piece into here. You can see how they're still a little shaky. We're going to want them to be on the same plane and tight up against each other with no gap. So we're going to drill through the side of the cabinet about 1 inch into the other cabinet and run 2.5-inch screws through those. Now make sure your cabinets are on the same plane when you drill the hole. Now we're going to drill a slightly bigger hole just at the beginning of it so we can recess our heads of our screws. Seam is tight and we're good to go. Check your seam. Screw them together. Looking good. Alright, now we're going to set the base cabinets. Super easy compared to what we just went through. So I want to make sure that my sink base section is correct. I also have a stove and a dishwasher to get in here. We got to make sure all those measurements are correct before we screw these down. I got 24 inches coming off for a dishwasher off of this plate. We're not going to rebuild this because it's the height that we need and it's good to go. So we're going to start our sink base cabinet 24.5 inches from that front lip. You always measure to the front lip, and that way our 24 is going to go in nice. Now that I know my 24 is right here and my sink base is in the right spot, I'm going to go ahead and secure that to the stud. Now if it picks up your cabinet off the ground a little bit, you need to shim it. Double check for level. Perfect. This 15 is going to butt right to it. We're going to put them on the same plane, get them at the right height, and screw them together. Beautiful. Now that we got these two screwed together and secured to the wall, let's make sure we leave enough room for our stove and then set our other 15-inch cabinet. We're one about 30.5, so we don't have to fight to get the 30-inch stove in. 30.5. Let's secure it to the wall. Alright, I got my kick plate marked out. Cut it with a skill saw, and I like to cut it upside down. That way it gives us a nice finished edge on our other side. You can tack these down with little wire nails. Okay, got a little scribe molding, stained our color. Done. Now all I have to do is fix this little faux drawer on the sink base. Mine fell off, so we'll get that put in. But that's it for the cabinet install. We are going to be installing some countertops on this, some laminate tops. If you need help measuring your tops, be sure to check out the Home Mender How to Measure Your Countertops video. It'll help you out. So that's it. They said it couldn't be done. One man can hang a kitchen by himself, and it would be awesome. There are easier ways to do it. You could have put a plate wood on the back of the wall, set all the cabinets up on it, and screwed them off that way. I find this way is easier for me. So for Home Mender Inc., this is Dustin. I hope you learned something today, and if you did, don't forget to click subscribe. Thanks for watching.